Welcome to Big Boffers, a supermarket that really is super. What a stupid thing to say, mumbled Skinless Frank, who had been born without the top layer of skin that most folks acquire in the womb. Therefore he looked somewhat like an anatomical diagram of a man, all brown, blue, red, and sinewy. Nobody in their right mind goes around saying stuff like that. You tell 'em, Frankie, said Boneless Chuck, who, for his part, had been born without any bones in his entire body. Frankie and Chuck had been really lucky to land this gig over at Big Boffers. They had even gained a modicum of peer acceptance as likable losers, but you know how stuff like that can wear thin with dreadful rapidity. It isn't easy being a man without an epidermis, but Frankie was learning to cope with his plight the best way that he knew how, by sulking personally, then ridiculing the hell out of others, i.e. more normal people. You two have no respect for the dead. I heard that last comment, Varland. Don't you think you're being a bit rough on these two minor birds? As a matter of fact, I've heard practically every single comment that each one of you has made so far. Why, Purvis, you're supposed to be... Dead? Why, yes, dead. How can you possibly be sitting up in your coffin like this? Does that thought bother you, Lottie? The fact that I might still have some life left in my deceased bones? Speak now, or else forever hold your peace. By God, I don't know quite what to say. That'll be the day. What's this all about, Father? Why the chicanery? Chicanery, you call it? I can assure you this is no trick. Here, brother, let me give you a hand. No thanks, Varland, I can manage. I may be dead, but I'm not an invalid. That I can see with my own eyes, but what's the meaning of this charade? You think it's a charade, do you? Well, perhaps I had better explain it all to you a bit more clearly, brother. Yeah, why don't you do that, Pop? Fill us all in on the joke. It's no joke. Trust me, son. I forgot to hand in my death certificate before I kicked the bucket last Thursday. You know the old saying, Thursday is a bad day to die on. Well, the truth be known, there's no such thing as a good day to die on. Take it from a man who's seen both sides of the veil. You mean they won't bury you unless you prove to them that you're dead first? That's precisely what I mean. You remember that law that got passed last year? Yeah, now I get it. Uncle Perv came back to haunt us because we can't lay his bones to rest till the Bureau of Dead People is satisfied that he's stiff as a board. You make me sound like I'm some low-down varmint rooting through the town's garbage. Just a word to the wise, Mr. Mendicant, continues the Revelator. I still have myself a flock to feed, the Lord be willing. Far be it from me to gum up their chow line, laughs Midas. I'm sure Nehemiah doesn't mean anything unflattering by it, interrupts May. Read the scriptures, Miss Boleen, chides Nehemiah softly. All psychic readings come from the devil himself. There ain't no such being as the devil, Mr. Nehemiah, bleats Mendicant. He's a rather powerful illusion all the same. Campbell's got a point there. Well, snakes alive. You know, Nehemiah, I have a lot of trouble believing that God is male, but I got no trouble believing that the devil is. However contradictory this follow-up statement of Mendicant's may have been in light of his previous assertion, it still strikes a responsive chord with all three of the insightful souls present in May Boleen's psychic boudoir. We're all grown-ups, reasons May. We're each ultimately responsible for our own actions here on this earth. Just then the lights in the room flicker twice, whereupon they go out for a matter of moments. When they come back on, the death card is seen having fallen mysteriously onto the carpet. Heed my warning, laments Nehemiah, after which his spectre exits the room. His freshly departed spirit leaves behind the backdraft of a slightly cool breeze. A candle atop May's alternate table, just to the side of her reading table, flares up a mite ominously, then resumes its normal fiery sequence of vapory exchanges with the thin air inside the room. Can't say as I'm not glad to see the decaying buzzard go, chortles Midas a bit nervously, owing to the circumstances surrounding the entire psychic encounter. That Nehemiah, laughs May. He's always full of surprises. He's full of something, complains Mendicant. What? I ain't quite sure. Later, after the full tarot session has been completed, Midas pays the pretty lady in straight cash. They part company without much falderall. Few words truly need to be spoken at this point.